This right here is the best first car, really just the best car for a young person to own. I'll explain in today's video. I'll include a link to the Orem Toyota's website in the description down below. They're providing us with this Corolla. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 1.8 liter four-cylinder paired to an eCVT. Total system output is 138 horsepower, with fuel economy being 47 around town and then 41 on the highway. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Now this particular hybrid Corolla is finished in this really cool kind of flat, slightly metallic gray, and then you notice the Toyota logo is blue. We also have the Corolla's signature, really aggressive looking headlights, and we've got some blacked out trim down below. And the grille itself is also blacked out on this particular one. And so you can see this makes the Corolla look really sporty. Tire wheel setup is 225 by 40 by 18. You can see the wheels are metallic gray, and tires that small, cheap to replace, which is nice. Body painted mirror caps, door handles, and you've got this blacked out side skirt. They do give you all-wheel drive badges with the all-wheel drive version. Here's your side profile. You can see this one is the sedan version of the Corolla. This leads us to the key fob. We've got our lock and unlock function. We've got the opening for the trunk as well, and well, we'll pop it open. And taking a look at the cargo area here, it's not as big as the hatchback, but it's still pretty practical. And just looking underneath, I'm not really seeing a spare tire or anything like that. You've got this really nice body painted spoiler here in the back, kind of more basic with the taillights. What's not so basic are the badges, and then the exhaust tips look pretty cool. So all together, again, this has a sporty looking exterior. Let's now pop inside. Interesting two-tone design with the white up top, but then you've got nice soft touch with red stitching down below. I think these cloth seats are really cool looking, again with the kind of white coloration. Legroom's good, and now that I look closer at the seats, I'd say they're more gray than white, but it's a lighter gray, that's for sure. Anyways, USB ports at the back too. And although I don't have an insane amount of headroom, I do technically fit back here. We do have keyless entry for the front. More of the white trim, but this is actually soft touch up front unlike the back, and then you've got more of the blacked out trim with the red stitching. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then the mirrors do have a power adjustment function. Here's the seats. Again, they are manually adjustable for the front. I like the little latch there on the floor for the trunk, and then up above you got your gas cap release, 2 stability controls as well. And let's fire her up. There is nice soft touch trim all around the steering wheel. You've got practical controls like adaptive cruise control with your lane centering, and on the left side you've got your volume voice command controls and then controls for the center. But it still gives you traditional stalks on the back, which is nice and simple. And here's that center I'm talking about. So it's a mostly digital gauge cluster. You can change what information is displayed there depending on what you want to see, and then it'll also kind of change the background a little bit depending on the drive mode that you pop into. Just a regular backup camera in reverse, pretty good resolution. And then as for the infotainment system itself, it is a tablet. It's actually pretty big overall. Quick response time with the side tab too. Got little buttons for the volume controls instead of a dial. Not going to pop up on camera very well, but you have single zone climate. It is automatic though, which is nice. Speaking of nice, look at the dash design. I think that's pretty fancy, and you do have quite a bit of soft touch trim. This also comes with a wireless phone charging pad. In front of the shifter you have your drive mode selected and your EV mode, and then you've got the shifter for the eCVT itself, and it does have the B mode as well. Couple cup holders, we've got our auto hold function, parking brake there, and then the center console does come with a 12 volts and a USB port, and it's got nice trim on the top. And then we do have a sunroof up top, just a regular one. Now we have quite a bit of standard equipment with this, but we also have quite a bit of optional equipment, including the premium package, which if you don't care about, you know, the upgraded sound system, bigger infotainment system, and moonroof and all that, save yourself $2,000. Total MSRP $32,491. Let's see how this performs. Well, let us set off. We'll start and drive, then we'll do the B mode a little bit. This is one of those cars that I've been trying to review the entire model year, and as we're skirting off to the end, I finally get a review one. There's plenty of Corolla hybrids that come in, but all-wheel drive, it's so hard to get a hold of one of these. And it makes sense. I mean, this is one of the cheapest ways that you can get almost 50 miles per gallon and all-wheel drive, right? The Prius with all-wheel drive is not that much more, but it's a little bit more money. So yeah, it's quite impressive. Now, just like most Toyota hybrids, the top end is not going to be crazy strong or anything like that. That's to be expected. But the bottom end is great because you get the instant torque from the electric side of things, and the eCVTs are very smooth. Unlike a regular CVT, eCVTs just seem to perform a lot better. And it kind of leads me to the conclusion, and Toyota is doing this, by the way, the best way to go about things, if you're gonna use it, if you're gonna do the CVT route, just hybrid everything, eCVT everything. It just makes the most sense. Yeah, this is nice. It's comfortable to ride. What I'd say compared to the Prius, I actually like this more than the Prius for a few reasons. Again, lower cost, and I hate the gauge cluster in the Prius. This has more of a normal setup, so it just feels like a more normal car. It's kind of what the Corolla's always been about, whereas the Prius is kind of going after a slightly different market segment. But I mean, yeah, in terms of like a commuter car, this thing is fantastic. The suspension's comfortable. You got some road noise, but it's normal for this type of vehicle. It's normal for the segment. The power, again, around town is effortless. Like I said, highway passing power on this is not going to be all that great. It's not a high horsepower car. So that is where it's going to feel a little bit more lackluster. But again, if you're just commuting, you're not trying to race down the highway, right? And if you're getting this car, you know, for your kid, or if you're a young person, here's my kind of take. So for a kid, you don't want your kid to have a super fast car, because then they're gonna get in trouble. And then if you're a young person, you don't want a super fast car, because then you're gonna get in trouble, right? I have plenty of speeding tickets to attest to this. Like, if there's one thing, and I always tell this to people, and people are always shocked, if there's one thing that I could have changed with my whole car ownership stuff on this channel, if I went back in time, I would have not bought a single sports car. That's the one thing that I wish that I hadn't had done that I did do, is buy sports cars, because they're just trouble. They're just trouble. I know that every young person wants one because they're fun. I get it. They're fun, but they're trouble. Yeah, I love it. I love these Toyota hybrids. They're just, again, it's not exciting, but you just kind of forget that you're driving. Like, I had a Mazda CX-50 this week that has the RAV4 powertrain in it, the hybrid RAV4 powertrain, and you just drive the car. You don't even think about driving. And that's the same thing with this. So again, that leads to not so much engagement, but like if you're just trying to get from A to B, which again, I think that's what a young person should be doing, right? Because you're trying to figure your life out and everything. That's what this provides, and these things are reliable. That's the other big thing that I think this is great. Like, young people buying unreliable cars is a huge mistake, right? It's so detrimental financially. And so it's like, you want something that like this has good resale value. It is cheap to maintain, right? You're going to be basically oil change, tire rotation for most of the existence of this car. And you don't have to feel bad about putting miles on it, right? If you've got to do a bigger commute to get a job or go to school or whatever it is, you know, because of the reliability, you're not concerned, oh man, I'm going to get 200,000 miles. It's like, this thing can go places. No problem. So let me know you guys think about the Corolla hybrid with all-wheel drive, but I think this is like fantastic car, and especially here in Utah, it's nice having all-wheel drive. It really is, because you get a good set of tires and all-wheel drive, and you're unstoppable on the roads. So it's always a plus. And the other thing this is kind of silly, but I like Toyota's EV sound that they have when the car's in electric mode. It's kind of like this, I don't know, it's kind of this little whirring, and I don't know, it sounds kind of nice, if you ask me. So let me know you guys think about the Corolla hybrid with all-wheel drive. But I think that if you're using your brain instead of your heart, then if you're a young person, or if you're a parent that has to buy your kid a new car, this is the rig to get.